as far as your goals that were in your book, how have you done reaching those?
I reached out to, I'm trying to reach out to more of my clients, so I did one lunch, and then I did, one, we invited her to a concert, so she's going with me to a concert, so I'm just trying to reach out to all of them.
How are you doing with your CRM in, Buffy?
I didn't set it up in Buffini because I'm so confused if I want to use it, if I don't want to use it, but I did set everybody up on HomeBot, so I just went ahead and did HomeBot.
Okay, how are you tracking your clients?
I'm not-
Okay, so let's talk about that. I don't care what system that you use, but if you don't have a database or CRM for your past clients, I promise you, you're going to miss 60 to 70% of the business that you could have had will slip through your fingers.
Okay.
Okay, it's just going to, because if you're not staying, and honestly, everybody's heard of constant contact, the email, right? And they got it right. They got it right. If you don't have that constant contact with your past clients or the clients that you're doing business with and people that you did business with 3 years ago, if you don't have some way of making sure that you systematically and consistently stay in touch with them, they will hire a different agent and they will sell their house, right? Or they will go buy a house, or they will send a referral to somebody else. They won't send it to you. You have to have that top of mind capability with these people. And the only way to have that is to have a system that helps you do it. So you don't have to use Buffini forever. I would suggest using it while you're in the class. You can always export it and use it somewhere else, or you can start adapting Sierra to do that. But Sierra is mainly for people that you have never met. And you can do a long-term drip campaign. But if you talk about, and we talk about the 4 touches a month, and we talk about making sure that you've called all your clients or texted all your clients every month, and that you've sent them all handwritten note every month, and that you send them all an item of value every month. What are you using to track who you've talked to and who you haven't? So, for example, how many people are in your database right now?
I only have like 11.
Right, what are you gonna do when it's 200?
Oh, no, that'd be a problem to have. But yeah, I think that.
Correct, and if you only have 11 people in your database, then I think you need to go back and start, a couple lessons and start looking at that list of 100, right?
Mhm.
Statistically, everybody knows or is an acquaintance with about 295 people, right? That's just the number, right? So if you were to even only get 100 of those people written down on paper, they don't have to be close personal friends. I know you've had more than 11 clients in your career.
Mhm.
All the people that you've ever sold a house to, all the people that you've ever listed a house for, sold a house for, they should all be on that list. Right?
Mhm.
So that's, for you, I think that's where you probably should start.
Okay,
Get every past client on that list.
okay.
Got it.
Like go into Rain, look at your history,
Mhm.
and then
Just add those. Okay.
I did that there a while back, and so I'll give you a personal story on me. So, of course, I love Brian McCann, done my career on it, but for the last 5, 6 years, I've been, principal, really focused on being the broker and haven't really followed up with my clients. So I'm like, oh, let me just take a look. I missed like 7 deals. 7 deals. 7 of my clients that I sold houses, I know people pretty well, right? Sold their house, bought another one, 7, 8 deals. And it's because I failed to consistently stay in touch with these people as they talk, right? So definitely your past clients. And this year is going to be absolutely gargantuan for people that you sold. How long you been in business, Kimber?
1.5 years.
Okay. Those people will be selling the house this year when these prices go up. Gotta be good. Karen, the people you've sold houses to in the last 5 or 6 years, I'm telling you, they're gonna be ready to sell this year because the interest rates are gonna come down, home values are still gonna be hard and strong. So they're gonna be ready to sell. So really re-engaging with those people, everybody you sold a house to in the last 5, 6 years is gonna be hugely important. Alyssa. I mean.
Yeah.
you guys there?
Yeah.
How many
Yes.
houses do you, all of your buyers and all of your sellers, all your buyers are now homeowners. In the last 5 or 6 years, that's quite a few people. Do you have all of those people on your list? Except for,
Yes, I left a few butt heads off of there on purpose, but no, I got like almost all of it. I did though.
Fair. Amy, what about you?
Yes, I've got everyone.
Cool. So that's, I think that's an important takeaway. Ken, did you reach the goals you set this week? Did you set any goals this week?
I did not say.
Your accountability partner was an asshole and ignored you again.
Yeah, I just need to skip over the two of us this week.
Natalie, how did you do with your goal setting this week?
I made it about halfway there.
Okay, let's talk about what were some of the challenges that stopped you from making it all the way?
I trying to grow my database and see, like, my list of people is very small. I'm like, with these people, I'm not putting a lot of past clients on there because I've not talked to them for a long time. So I feel weird sending them something, but if they don't know, they don't know. So I guess I need to get over that part.
So let's talk about that for a second, and I get that. So especially in Natalie's situation where she has people that are investors, they bought a house, an investment property, and then they went back to Timbuktu or wherever it was, and she hasn't talked to them in what, a year, 2 years?
Yeah.
Right? So there is a re-engagement letter. You'll find it in your resources in Brian Buffini's, right? And it is a letter designed for people you haven't talked to in a while that was a past client. You might want to go and pull that letter, modify it for your particular situation, and send that to everybody. And then that starts that engagement where you can start being engaged with that person. And I think it starts out something like, hey, I know it's been a while. We haven't been in touch in a while. I really wanted to check on you, see how things are going, blah, blah, blah. And it's almost an apology letter for, being remiss and not staying in touch, which is not a bad thing. So if you have people that you've done business with that you have not talked to in a long time, you just have to get re-engaged. If you don't, they're going to buy something with somebody else. And in your case, Natalie, it's not that they're going to buy something else, but they're going to refer their friends to someone else.
Yeah.
You've got to stay top of mind with these people. Okay? Make sense?
Yes.
Alyssa, Amy, how did you guys do? You guys reach your goals? I know I saw you guys in here working and doing a bunch of stuff. You want to share that with us?
Yeah, well, as far as like the list goes, we've done some personal notes. We've added people to our database, had breakfast or lunch. The pop buys, we're actually working on co-branding with Carrie Williams, and we're sending them out to 25 people each, so that's 50 total. So those will go out pretty soon. They're for Valentine's Day.
Okay. I think the Valentine's Day thing is just got to get in that plan. All right, Rob, how you feeling, bud?
Good. I tried to do as much as I could. I got sick Thursday.
Oh,
But the two days I had, I wrote half the notes that I was supposed to do. I did one pop by. I brought their dog a treat. Let's see. I need to add more people to the database.
don't we all?
I do have a question. When I did the mayor campaign on somebody, and they said they would love to get the mail from me, and they gave me their address, and then right after that they asked me for my address.
Okay.
So I gave them my neighbor's address, of course, but no, I'm just kidding. I gave him my address.
Give them your office address if you're not comfortable giving them your home address.
Yeah, I was comfortable at that time. He
Okay.
he sounded like a legit dude.
Yeah, what was he
So-
trying? What did he say? Why he wanted your address?
It was kind of sarcastic. It was like, hey, maybe I want to send you something too. Let me get your address. That
Okay,
type of deal.
that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so what's the question?
The question.
Yeah, you said you have a question about something.
Yeah, if it's okay to give our address since we're asking for theirs.
Unless you know them very well, I would say no, and the address I would give them is 780 Lynn Haven Parkway. Give
Yeah,
them the office
okay.
address, right? That way Mel
Yeah.
can reach you, it's not a big deal, and if they show up to stalk you, well, they're gonna stalk, right? So I would say give them the office address, unless you know them really, really well.
All right.
All right, let's jump into today's class, how to be a goal getter, right? So go getter, a goal getter. And I think this is a really important module because one of the things that we've been talking about all week, hey, how did you set a goal this week? Did you reach your goal? And this is going to really kind of help solidify and help you work through that. So without further ado.
Welcome to Module 11, How to Be a Goal Getter. Now, this is where the 100 Days program starts to shift. The teaching modules start to get a little shorter. The action steps start to get a little longer. Now, this module is dedicated to how to be a goal getter. A little over 30 years ago, I got exposed to goal setting, and it has categorically changed the arc of the rest of my life. Once I started setting goals, I started reaching goals, and my confidence grew. The more my confidence grew, the bigger the goals I set, and the greater the accomplishments. A goal getter is someone who not only sets goals, but does what it takes to achieve them. Now, goal setting has not only transformed my life, but for the past 25 years, every seminar and training program that I've taught has had goal setting built into it. And we've had more than 3 million people set goals. And the results have been transformational. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about what a goal actually is. Well, according to Mr. Webster, it's the end to which all effort is directed. The end to which all effort is directed. So let's talk about how to be a goal getter. 3 main points as normal. First, why we need goals. Second, why we miss our goals. And third, how to set SMART goals. So why we need goals, why we miss them, and then we're going to talk about setting SMART goals. Let's take a look at the power of goal setting. There's a very famous Harvard study. It was done of the Harvard Business School of the class of 1979. And they followed the trajectory of these graduates. Now, if you think about it, you have Harvard students, they're pretty well set up in a lot of ways. 1979, they've been tracking these people now for decades. But the outcomes for these people were very different. They all had a great start in life, graduating from Harvard. But where they ended up, very different. 27% ended up on outside support. So they needed additional revenue to support them. 60% of those graduates were barely getting by. Not a great endorsement for Harvard. 10% were living comfortably, and 3% were independently wealthy based on their own work. Crazy stuff. So what are the differences between these groups? Well, the top 3% had set clearly defined goals and had placed them in writing. Clearly defined goals and placed them in writing. The next 10% who were doing okay, they had goals in mind, but they had no written plans for their accomplishment. The 60% that were barely getting by, they sometimes were wishing for things, but because they didn't have goals, their wishes merely remained dreams. And the bottom 27% had no goals except to exist. They spent a lifetime depending on outside help. Crazy. Now, if that happens to that group, well, what is going to happen for the rest of us? We've got to make sure that we are looking forward. We've got to make sure that we're setting goals that we can visualize, that we can see. They've got to be clearly defined, and they must be in writing. A wonderful quote says, "Those who stare at the past have their backs turned to the future." We have to focus on goals. So why do we need them? Well, first of all, they clarify what you really want, what you're really working for, what you're willing to sacrifice for, what you're willing to do. My mentor, Jim Rohn, used to say, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Goals make you really want to do something. The next thing they do is they create a mental picture to focus your energies. A mental picture to focus your energies. A picture's worth 1,000 words. And when you have that picture in mind, and that's why the more visual your goals can be, the more visual representation of your goals. I have goal boards where I cut out pictures and print off images of places I want to go, the things I want to do, the goals I want to achieve. And I have those pictures in front of me in a goal board that I'm looking at all the time. Ultimately, when you have a goal, what it does is it brings into life one of the most powerful attributes of success, and it's the word focus. You know, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, when they first met, it was actually at Bill Gates' mom's and dad's home. And Bill Gates' dad slid across 2 sheets of paper to the 2 richest men in the world at the time and said, I want you to write down one word that's contributed to your success. Well, this was the first time these guys had ever met. They both picked up their pens, wrote on the paper, slid it back to Bill Gates' dad. He picked it up. It was the same word. And it was the word focus. A great acrostic for the word focus is follow one course until success. Follow one course until success. How about this? How about you follow the 100 days course until success? How about you follow the action steps and the real estate ready steps and those tasks until you become successful in this program? Focus. The last thing about goals is they unlock the power of our subconscious mind. Some call it the unconscious mind. Are you aware that up to 80% of our actions actually come out of our unconscious mind? Well, when you create a picture with your goals of what you really want, and it's real clear to you, and it's defined, it creates a picture in your mind. And even in your sleep, your mind is working towards those goals. Thomas Jefferson said, nothing can stop the person with the right mental attitude from achieving their goal, and nothing on earth can help the person with the wrong mental attitude. Have that goal, have the right attitude, and away you go. Now let's talk about why we miss our goals. The first reason is there's a lack of motivation. There becomes a lack of motivation. Now for me, it's a bit of a chicken and egg story. See, you have to write goals that have some juice to them. You have to write goals that motivate you. You have to write goals that go, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. That would be great. If only I could get there. If only I could achieve that. That'll create some juice for you. And then you need to feed it with motivation. That has to be constant. And motivation doesn't last a long time. That's why you have to do it daily, okay? It's like taking a shower, okay? Bathing doesn't last a long time, neither does motivation. That's why we have to constantly do it. Henry Ford, the great American industrialist, said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So we've got to make sure we have the right motivation. The next thing is this lack of perceived progress, okay? And we've talked about this, why you need to track your activities, because you might not feel like you're moving forward, but you're on the right track. You got to make sure that you know that you're tracking your activities so that you know you're having some momentum, and momentum is powerful. John Maxwell says momentum solves 80% of your problems because it gives you that feeling that the wind is in your hair, that you're actually moving forward and you're making progress towards your goal. Now, another reason why we miss our goals is not that we intentionally say, I'm going to screw up my life. I'm going to get broke. I'm going to get fat. I'm going to get miserable. No one sets out goals like that. But here's what does happen. A very deadly killer, and it's called drift. We simply drift away from where we're desiring to go. How do we do it? Well, you miss a day. And then you miss another day. You miss out on writing a few personal notes. You miss out on making a few calls. You miss out on doing a few Popeyes. You miss out on doing a little exercise. You miss out on eating good for a day. And the next thing you know, another day and another day. And then you wake up and you go, how the heck did I get here? The great Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw said, to be in hell is to drift. To be in heaven is to steer. And if you're steering, you have to be steering towards something. And for me, that's a goal. The third part here is about setting smart goals. Smart goals. And there's, again, very, very famous acrostic. This actually came out of that Harvard study originally. Goals should be smart. That means specific and written. They have to be specific and they have to be in writing, not goals in mind. Next, they should be measurable. That means they're measurable in progress and completion. Next, there should be an achievable outcome. It's something you can get done. realistic in time and skill, and then there's a time-based achievement, Let me share with you my favorite goal of all time. It's when John F. Kennedy spoke at Rice University. And he said, we're going to put a man on the moon and bring him safely to Earth by the end of the decade. We're going to put a man on the moon, very specific, had measurable progress and completion, an achievable outcome, realistic in time and skill. We're going to bring him back safely to Earth by the end of the decade, a time-based achievement. And Americans put a man on the moon in July of 1969. It's the most remarkable goal I've ever heard of. When I got a chance to interview Neil Armstrong, and I talked about the complexity of it all, he said, you know, the reason we were able to achieve that goal is every night when we went home, we looked up and looked outside. We saw our goal in front of us. Our goal was in front of us. We want to put a man up there, bring him safely to Earth, and do it within this period of time. Your goals need to be that clear to you. Well, we've established a couple of goals for you with the 100 Days program. For a start, we said minimum of 1 closed sale and a minimum of 2 pending sales in this first 100 days. Now, we're early on into the program, but we got to start doing the activities to generate those leads that are going to produce those kind of transactions. We have a checklist for reaching your goal, okay? Complete all training action steps and all the real estate ready tasks. So you have action steps and the tasks to be that capable realtor. Next, 100 sorted and qualified relationships in your database. Keep working on your database, keep adding names day by day, whether it's the mayor campaign, whether it's to doing open houses, whatever methodologies you're going to use, add people to your database. Everywhere you go, waiters and waitresses, add people to your databases. Keep racking your brain. There's people you've still forgotten about that need to be in your database. The next 3 months of mailings and e-reports are in place. You're ready to go. We've given you these. You know when you're going to send them out and you're prepping to do it. Plan the next 12 months of your pop buys. We gave you the calendar. We've given you the tags. Start planning out your pop buys. Here's a challenge for you towards reaching your goal. Watch every training module. You know, I got dressed up for you, got showered up, ready to go. Pouring a lot of effort and energy into this for you because each one of these modules, we're giving you nothing you don't need and taking away everything else that would just confuse you or complicate this business for you. A couple of short things. Memorize the mayor campaign and the new agent dialogues, okay? These are the checklists to reaching that goal of 1 closed, 2 pending. A couple more things. Prioritize each day and schedule each week for the next 10 weeks, right? So schedule it. Win the day and win the week for the next 10 weeks. Now, what do we need? 2 hours a day to win the day, right? And 4 days a week to win the week. Can you do that for the next 10 weeks? Hold 2 open houses and add 3 buyers to your database. Hold 2 open houses and add 3 buyers to your database. Next, watch all the Referral Maker CRM tutorials, right? You're just sitting back, watching them, take it a little bit at a time, take some good notes, watch the tutorials. And track all activity in the Referral Maker CRM. No matter how small the activities you've gotten done, keep a track of.
I rarely ever interrupt when Phoenix doing this, but I want to make this very, very clear. These 2 pages right here in your book are probably the most 2 important pages that you can have in this whole book. And it's because these are the actual things that you need to do if you want to have the 1 closed sale and 2 pending sales. 1 closed sale and 2 pending sales will pay for this course many, 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 many times over, including your time investment. And all you have to do is written down for you. And anytime you have a goal setting exercise, you go, oh, we're going to set goals. He set all your goals for you for this course. And if you do this and you reach this, you'll be amazed what will happen. But every week I'm listening to you guys and what you guys are doing. This is going to sound horrible, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Here's what you guys are doing. You guys are cherry picking the goals and the things that you want to do. You're cherry picking the ones that are easier, the ones that you're comfortable with. And what you're not doing is everything that you're telling you to do. And if you just submit to the process, just surrender to the process and do it, it'll be life changing. If you don't, then you expect the same results that you have now. So I need to get that. Go ahead. Sorry.
You're talking to me.
No, I'm talking to everybody.
It will make such a difference for you. Now, we have a little exercise in your workbook for you. It's called the Just Imagine exercise. We've done a sample for you, and it's designed to kind of create a word picture for you, but we obviously want you to do your own, where it has a little more emotion for you and it's a little personalized for you. And as soon as this module ends, I'm going to ask you to immediately do the Just Imagine exercise. So this is written as if you're finished with 100 days. So it's hooray. I just finished 100 days to greatness. I feel empowered. I'm real estate ready. Working by referral aligns with my personal values. I've received 3 referrals, 2 buyers, and 1 seller. I feel so confident interacting with these clients. I know exactly what to say and do. I'm working the referral system and it's working for me. When I focus on winning the day, it's not so overwhelming, and I'm on pace to establish myself in the business. There's a great feeling of accomplishment having put in place my next 12 months worth of marketing and the mailings, personal notes, and pop-bys. I love being in business for myself. I'm so glad I chose to get into this business. It's right up my alley. Now that's just a sample, but I'm going to encourage you immediately following today's module, sit down and write out a Just Imagine scenario for yourself and put some juice to it, okay? Allow yourself to dream a little bit. What do you really hope for? Best case scenario. Just by the end of this course, where do you want to be? All right? Well, again, we've helped so many people in this spot, and it's time for one of these good life stories. And this one, is, again, a San Diegan, Candace Cole. And Candace started out where later in life, she changed careers. And she was working in a profession and an industry she didn't like, but she decided to change careers and jump into real estate. And she started with us. She came to one of our seminars and jumped into our coaching program. And again, a lot of these good life stories you'll hear people talking about coaching. The real purpose here is to show you that somebody can start here and get all the way to here. She became a rookie of the year in her office and then went on to continually not only grow her business, but set more goals. Now, the reason I'm sharing this good life story with you is Candace's goals involved a lot of travel and time with her family. And so she built her goals around, if I do this and this and this production, I make this kind of money, then I want to take this time off. I want to take this week off. I want to take this month off. And her businesses continue to grow and continue to develop. And her goals are more and more time and more trips and more quality of life. It's a beautiful thing. So here's a story I think many of you can relate to. Here's Candace Kolb's good life story.
Hi, I'm Candace Kolb, and I've been in real estate for 9 years. Yeah, I was working in a job that just wasn't a good fit for me, and I hated it. I would walk into the building in the morning and I could physically feel my energy draining and my stomach turning. It was that obvious to me I was in the wrong position. When I made the decision to change over to real estate, I just wanted something that had highly relational sales aspect to it and had basically unlimited earning potential. I was studying for the test to get my license for real estate, and I met a gentleman who was actually sitting at the table during downtime and writing a note. So we started talking, and he said, oh, well, I do this because I'm coached by a company called Buffini & Company. And so I write a lot of notes and I make a lot of calls. And I thought, So being a good Buffini person, he gave me a card and so I could make a phone call. So I did, and within 3 weeks, I went to my first turning point. And I think Brian was about halfway through the first session, and I realized that I had just chosen the tagline for my business, which is it's all about relationships. Obviously, I have to go sign up because this is just a perfect match for me and my personality and the way I like to do business. So I signed up for one-to-one coaching at that very first event after the first break. So of course, in my new business, I was wanting to see instant results. Why wouldn't you? But you get a little impatient, and I started thinking, oh, when's it going to happen? When's my first sale going to hit? So I was really, really thankful that I had Misty coaching me along, saying, just keep doing your calls and your notes and popping by and having client parties and just stay the course. You're planting the seeds.
I remember my very first call with Candace. She came to that call ready to go. She just jumped right into the action steps that I gave her and was willing to trust our process.
It actually was interesting because as much as a couple months in, I might have thought, oh my gosh, what have I done? Actually, by the time the year ended up, at the end of 12 months, I was actually rookie of the year for my company for the entire county. So it was like, wow, how did that happen? Oh yeah, calls nuts Popeyes. Just keep doing what you're doing.
When I heard that Candace had won Rookie of the Year, to be honest, I wasn't surprised. I mean, it was so well deserved. She had mastered the dialogue. She really makes them her own, and she works very hard at her craft.
So 9 years into it, I'm at a much better place, which was the goal, to keep improving every year. Sales production has gone from, 3 million to 27 million, significant jump there. And again, that's a lot of that came from Misty and I doing very strategic things, just being very, very purposeful in some of the activities that we put into play.
Candace and I work very hard on her business plan every year. It's about co-creating the plan, and we always want to make sure that with production, we also have balance in life, taking time off and definitely taking vacations.
I love to take 5 to 6 weeks a year of vacation and go somewhere I've never been before, hopefully. I don't think I could do that if I wasn't working by referral, because the clients I have come to me through people who know me and trust me. And so we start off on the right foot. We start off with them knowing she's a really hard worker. She takes really good care of me. And she also deserves to have some time off and know that I've got something put in place where they're taken care of for the time I'm gone. So that allows me to live the good life. And I really appreciate that.
It's truly a pleasure to coach Candace. She is just an amazing person, and to see her success in life and in business is absolutely inspiring.
I'm Candace Cole, and I'm living the good life.
What a neat story. And hopefully that was inspiring and encouraging to you. She started a next career, which happens for real estate. People started as their next career, often not their first career. She got going, Rookie of the Year, built a wonderful business, and now her goals are all about travel, and her business is built to support her travel. What a great way to work by referral, live the good life. So we talked about how to be a goal-getter. We talked about why we need goals, and they have to be clear and written. We talked about why we miss our goals, and we talked about setting those SMART goals. Now, as you know, education without implementation is merely entertainment. So here are your training action steps and real estate ready tasks. On the training action steps, email your first e-report to your database. Write 3 personal notes per day. Do 7 Popeyes this week. Add 5 people to your database this week. And review the Popeye roleplay video. Also, accompany an experienced agent on an appointment. Here are your real estate ready tasks. Set up a business email address. It's important that you have a separate business email address from your personal email. It also gives you a professional appearance. Many of your companies you work for will actually have an opportunity to join their email service. Next, set up a transaction management service. In the world we live in today, people don't want to be limited by physical signatures and location. We're living in a high-tech world. And so you need a transaction management service. My favorite one, the one I've used for years, is DocuSign. And they're the #1 signature and agreement cloud solution. So they're fantastic. I highly recommend them. All right. Well, hopefully you had a good time with me here in this module. Hopefully you're committed to being a goal getter. Right when we finish this module, I want you to pick up your pen and write out your Just Imagine goal, okay? And it should move you. It should stir you to action. And if it does, you'll become a goal getter. Now in module 12, I'm going to cover something real special. I'm going to talk about how to develop your offline and online strategy. We'll see you then.
All right, so let's look at these training action steps for this week. Email your first e-report to your database. You can only do that if you're playing in the CRM. So that's why I say just while you're in the class, use it. See if it works. If you decide you don't want it, when you're done, it's nothing. It just stops. If you decide to do, it's $50 a month. I think is what they charge for that. Write 3 personal notes a day. Means a day. If you don't have a lot of people in your database, that's gonna get a little bit more difficult. But to get yourself in the practice of it, if you don't have enough people in your database to kind of do that, then write one to a fellow agent. But write 3 personal notes every single day. 7 pop buys this week. That means you need to go and see 7 of your past clients or 7 of your business to business relationships this week. If this was easy, everybody would do it and everybody would be successful at it, right? So this is not gonna be easy, but we really gotta make time. Add 5 people to your database this week, and today you really need to be sitting back and thinking about, how am I gonna add 5 people to my database? Anybody wanna give me a clue how you add 5 people to your database? Mayor campaign? Everybody good with the mayor campaign?
Mhm.
Anybody know what the mayor campaign is? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you know what the mayor can you get them back on the screen? The mayor campaign is a way of opening up a conversation to get people into your database. That's what it's for. Right? It's to get people excited about what you're doing. Let them know that you're in real estate and qualify them to see if they have somebody they already referred to people business to. And then you can add them to your database. You guys are really talking about this all the time, about talking to someone and asking them for their information without asking them for their information. And that's what the mayor campaign does. If you knew somebody who was buying or selling real estate, do you have an agent you would refer them? No, I don't. Great. I'd love to be that agent. Now that I'm in real estate, I come across a lot of really great information that I pass out to a select group of people. Would you like to be in that group? Oh my God, yeah, I'd love to be a part of a private group. Perfect, wonderful. How would you like me to get this information to you? Oh, you can email it to me. Here's my email address. Wonderful. Sometimes this information I have is written information. If I have some written information, some stuff, I'd like to get out to you. How can I get that to you? Oh, well, here, send it to this address. Great. I'll either give you business or home. And you know, sometimes this information is time sensitive. Time sensitive information. If I need to get a hold of you quickly, is there a way I can do that? Great, yeah, send me a text. Now you got the 3 pieces of information that you need to put them in your database. And I never asked for their information. I asked for their help. It's American. Easy day. Watch the pop by role play video. And then you don't have to accompany experienced agent. Everybody in here has been on the appointments with experienced agents and know what they're doing, right? And then you guys already have okay, so let's talk about that. Set up a business email address. How many people have a Gmail? Okay. Have you ever thought about, how many people have their own domain name? You have your own domain name? Natalie, do you have your own domain name?
No.
Alyssa, you have your own domain name, right?
I do.
Okay, what's your domain name?
It's just VA USA Homes. I never use it. I honestly think it was a huge mistake. If I'm telling you the truth.
You could have Alyssa at that.com. Rob, do you have your own email address? Your own, domain name?
Gmail.
Gmail. All right. So if you own a domain name, this is a little different. If you own a domain name and you still want to use Gmail, that's not a problem. Inside Gmail settings, there's a way for you to use your domain name as your email address. So your Gmail address could be Kenny at awayrealestate.com. That could be your Gmail address, because there's a way on the back end to make it use that. It works like an exchange server. Or you can get something as simple as Office 365. And I recommend Office 365 because it costs you about $12 a month. But it gives you all of the Office, Microsoft Office suite tools, PowerPoints, Word, and it's always updated. It's always good to go. You can download it on different computers and you have it on addressed online. So it's a really good thing to have, right? But it also takes your email address and makes it a very professional email address. Not saying Gmail is not professional, because a lot of people do it, but it just adds some legitimacy to it when your email address is the name of your company, the name of your brand. Right? I don't give you an Away Real Estate email address because that's a golden handcuff. And if you ever go to another real estate company, never take an email address from them, ever. Because if you leave, it's not yours. And everything that you have in real estate should belong to you. It should be something that you own. You're independent company. And then set up a transaction management service. You guys already have that. Anybody care to name it?
Instant.
Brokerman. Yeah, Brokerman, right? Brokerman helps you keep yourself organized, knowing what needs to be turned in and when it can be turned in. If you don't know already, in Brokerman, you can set up your own checklist for what you need to get accomplished during the listing and the things you need to get accomplished during a buyer transaction. You can set all those things in there. You can set deadlines up on those things and you can use it to run your transaction. So there's something you kind of think about. Questions on any of that? So watch your video this week. Get these training actions. We're not too deep into this. Go back, look at all of your training actions and all of your things that you're supposed to be doing for every week. Go back, get them done. Go back, get caught up, get them done, get your databases where they need to be. Start using, look, you're paying for it, right? You do the class. Use the CRM that Brian Buffini has provided, just for the time being, just to help you develop some habits. If you don't like it, cool, go use it. If you do like it, great, you can continue that, but at least use it right now so that you can absolutely try to reach the goal. Questions? Anybody have any questions? Anything you guys want to go over before we break and send you out into the world to sell homes?
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so the pop buys, I'm in a unique market, but for you or anyone there, and I know you have like the lady that did like 1,200 last month, like she does them. I know that not all of your clients live there because they obviously list and move away. So they also have past clients that live in other places. How do they do how do you do pop buys with that? What do you do to be creative in that way?
So you can't really do pop buys for those people, right? But that monthly item of value, whether that's a newsletter or something along those lines, it's really all about staying top of mind. And occasionally when you have clients out of town and you're, instead of a newsletter, maybe it's the item that you're going to send as a pop by, maybe you mail it to them, right? You can't actually go see them, but at least you're giving them something, letting them know that you're thinking about them, that they mean something to you, right? So if your pop by gift this month, let's say it's November, and I did this one year. I gave away turkey basters, and I put a little note on there: don't get roasted by the wrong agent, right? But nothing wrong with putting that in the mail to some of your out of town clients because you're still doing something nice for them, and it's a very small investment. We're not talking about a lot of money. I mean, if we're doing pop buys and gifts, the way this routine says, right? And you did it for 5 years. And you sold a person one house, your return on investment probably 1,000-fold because of the money we make, we sell houses, right? So it's that long-term investment. You have to think about it that way. Does that make sense? So
yes,
I would say take that, whatever you're using for a pop by that month, mail it to your out of town, right? That'd be what I would do.
Okay.
Kendra, any questions?
So in the BCB, should I be adding people that are in my Sierra there, or just the people that I know?
Just the people you know.
Okay.
People you know, people you've met. Remember, Sierra is an incredible CRM for getting people you don't know to have conversations with, right? Once you start having conversations with you, that's where, it's up to you to maintain that relationship and maintain that in the long term. Sierra, you can develop some long-term email campaigns in Sierra, but nothing is ever going to take the place of that phone call, that personal note, that pop by, or seeing your past clients and staying in touch with them, having client party, appreciation parties for doing those type of things. There's not a CRM out there that's going to do that. They'll be the ones that remind you to do those things, right?
Okay.
And that's why I say go ahead and do the Buffini thing for right now, because it is, everything in that is designed to make sure you're hitting those things with those people on a monthly basis. You can set it up in Sierra, but you're gonna do a lot of work to get that.
Okay, but the CRM is only for past clients. That was my,
Buffini?
Yeah.
Buffini system is really only for your past
past
clients.
clients. Okay.
It's for people, and I don't even wanna say past client. It's for people you know.
Okay.
They don't need to be a past client for them to be a valuable person in your database.
Where they're getting the information and you. Okay.
Right, because there's two things that we're looking for from that person. What are they? For to do business with them,
Mhm.
or
Referral.
get a referral from them. That's what you're looking for in this week. So they don't have to be a homeowner or a past client to send you a referral,
Okay,
right? So the people that are in your database should be every single person you know,
okay,
neighbors, kids, your kids' parents, things of that nature, everybody you know.
Okay.
Okay, does that help with that?
yeah.
That'll help you bring that 11 number up, right? Karen, what do you got? What's that?
I'll do it this week.
All right, what do you got to add, Karen? Want to add something to it? Come on, you got so much information in your brain. Just.
I do have too much.
Alyssa, Amy, would you guys like to add something to the conversation before we dismiss?
I mean, I don't think so.
Okay. Rob, how about you, bud?
Well, for Kendra, did you put your whole sphere in Sierra?
No, those are just my leads that I've been working. It's-
Okay.
All right,
Uh,
ready, Rob?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, got it. As always, go out and sell a house. See you next week.
So,